I read comic strips, comic books. Superman was my guy. I still remember the death of Superman, and reading, like, in the car, reading, like, that whole, that image of Superman in that case, and all of his heroes are just sort of, like, filing past him, and it was just so totally amazing to be immersed in that, and reading newspaper strips every day, because my father also loved, newspapers. My grandfather. It was almost like it was. But comics and comic strips, what I loved about them was there was, like, Carrie Drake, who was a private eye, and then there was, like, Dondi, and then there was Charles Schultz, and then there was Smokey Stover, with, like, and really goofy styles, very simple styles, and then this sort of very, like, illustrative style, like from the Mary Perkins on Stage by Leonard Starr, which was just amazing to me. So I remember I still remember my father would come home with the Daily News, and again I'm in kindergarten or first grade or something like that, and I remember cutting out the strips and putting them in a scrapbook, and I was just drawing. So my style, like, Neil Adams eventually became my default, like, sort of the person I'm most identified with in terms of style. But when I was growing up, I was like a sponge. I just loved, because comics to me there was the comic strips and then the comic books, and I sort of didn't really see them as too different because they were both in narrative form, except that one was serialized on a daily basis, whereas comics was like, it was like binge watching a daily. It's like, I'm gonna watch the whole month's episode, like, all in one shot. But there was, comics could do anything. It was like they could be funny, they could be silly, they could be absurdist, and then they could also be like really well developed characters, soap opera, and I was like, that's it for me. I just love this.